Feels like we've been waiting forever, and the new season is now underway as the Chicago Bulls have their preseason opener today, the first of a home and home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcast. And today's episode was brought to you guys by nobody but us here at Locked On Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. It's game day. The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers in their first preseason. This is going to be the first time that we get to see this team and with the new mindset and the new mentality that they're attacking, this season with. We're trying to get tougher, trying to have more physicality, trying to practice better defense, more consistent team defense, and we get to see it. Now, it's not going to be a 1-for-1, right? I think anybody who's coming in expecting the Bulls to have their exact high-powered offense, I think even if you go back to last preseason, the Bulls offense didn't look like it did even starting in regular season game one, right? I remember I was ready to go off because they had talked so much about changing the shot profile, and in the preseason, it basically looked like the same team the year before, right? So, even if the Bulls do not look like they've taken a dramatic defensive step this year, don't look like they've taken a dramatic defensive step in preseason, Don't trip off of it. The Bulls are going to be running. Billy Donovan has already set the expectation about 15 to 20 minutes for their key guys. They're going to go very deep into the bench today. So that's going to, if you guys see the topics on the screen for the YouTube viewers, the last topic of the day is Yuki time, because that's what we're going to call the time where we get to see the two-way players and Noah Essengay. But the things that I do want to see from this team in this first preseason game is of course, the starting small forward battle, right? And both those guys are more than likely going to be in the starting lineup. You're going to see Kevin Huerter. You're going to see Isaac Okoro, probably both being in that starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. But, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to see, just from the point of Giddey's going to have full control over the offense. And, that's going to bring kind of a different level of complexity, right, to it, because you don't have another go-to guy like Coby White. We'll talk more about that in the second segment of this show. But for the preseason, the things that I'm really looking for more than just the individual players is the coaching. I think that's got to be one of the most important things today, is look at how Billy Donovan uses certain guys, right? What positions does he put them in? The bench rotation, especially because, with Coby being out, we don't even have a shooter like Kevin Huerter coming off the bench. So you have, of course, Io, you got Zach Collins, those being two of your main guys, with Trey Jones as well, leading that bench unit. But what's the stylistic thing that they're bringing in that case, right? So looking a lot at what is going to be for that. Let's see. Do you think Billy senses there is a chance to surprise some teams due to the weekend Eastern Conference? Listen, you can only surprise teams so much, right? Because the teams are still going to study for you. I will say this: the East is more open, but for anybody who says that the East is wide open, they're just using the same buzzword that's been used. It's not completely wide open. You got teams that are clearly separating themselves. Like the Cavs and the Knicks are probably in one tier, but then you have that tier of Detroit is looking like they're going to be in that tier. Maybe the Magic, if they can get their offense together as well. We'll see what the Atlanta Hawks do with their additions that they made. Those additions, especially in Kristaps, can stay healthy. But then after that, after probably number 5 in the East, 6 through 10 is going to be very, very close. So there is definitely an opportunity to open that up some, but we'll see. Who do you think is going to start over Coby White's spot? It's probably going to, I would say, it's probably going to be Kevin Huerter and Isaac Okoro as the starting 2 and the 3. And the reason why is that Io is going to be the 6th man regardless this season, right? They didn't even talk about Io as having a chance to be the starting small forward. I think that they view Io as probably their most important bench piece. And I think they're going to they want to get guys kind of as used to their rotation as possible. So I think it's going to end up being Kevin Huerter and Isaac Okoro in the starting lineup, with Io coming off the bench is the way that I view that. But I wouldn't be, if they do start Io, it wouldn't be like a huge shock there either. It wouldn't be a huge shock. Jerry, completely agree with you. Jerry says, I'm interested to see this new Billy. And, interested to see if it maintains, right? It's easy to talk stuff in preseason. It's easy to be confident and a hard ass in preseason, but it's not going to be that in the regular season. It's just not well, we haven't seen that in the regular season for Billy Donovan. So the hope, of course, is that we're going to be able to see it a little bit more in the regular season and see what it looks like. And a more confident Billy, I don't know if I can say confident Billy Donovan, but a more aggressive Billy Donovan, both in play calling, in style, in coaching technique. Being able to have that, I think, is going to be important to what this team could look like. So, if Billy does change that coaching style a little bit to where he's more focused in, he's more locked in, he's more aggressive in what he does, he holds these players to a bigger standard. Like I said it before, it's a big difference between holding 30-year-old players who are all getting paid $30-40 million from your highest paid player being a 22-year-old who still has a lot to uncover in their game, right? So I think that just that, the nature that this team is a lot like sacrifices a lot more for each other, is a lot more of a unselfish team as well. That Billy Donovan, you could see kind of more of a college coaching style Billy Donovan. And if we see that, I wouldn't really be too surprised there. So hopefully we see that from him. A Billy, as I titled it in yesterday's episode, a Billy Donovan that's more locked in can absolutely be an X factor for this team. I'm not saying the X factor. I think the X factor has to be on the floor, right? But you look at Billy Donovan with not changing the coach, but we did change the style. If we add further style into that with our defensive side of the ball, I definitely think that Billy Donovan could be an X factor for this team just because he's calling this team a little bit different. Jerry says he got his team now, so hopefully he's locked in. I mean, yeah, he got his team. He got a team that fits the style that you want to play. You have 2 point guards that can run your system very well. We talk so much about Billy Donovan and the importance of, the scheme that he runs, having a point guard that operates that at a high level. That's always when Billy Donovan's offenses look the best. And so you have 2 of those guys now. Josh Giddey can absolutely run Billy Donovan's offense. He showed that last year. Even before the streak after March, he still ran the offense well. The assist to turnover ratio was good. The way that he assisted Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine early in that season, helping them have 2 of their best shooting seasons of their career. I think it's evident that Josh Giddey's creation makes Billy Donovan's system better, right? And then you have Trey Jones, a guy that also assist to turnover ratio, great, can stretch the floor with the 3, doesn't always need to score a lot, but can score some when you need him to. He's also a guy that's going to get your bigs involved in the game. And if players are moving without the ball, he can catch those guys open. He's not as creative as a passer as Josh Giddey, but he's a solid passer too. So I think having 2 of those guys that can run that offense in that manner is going to make a huge difference for the Chicago Bulls, a huge difference. So, we'll see. We'll see. I got faith. I know I have more faith than a lot of people do in this Bulls team. I know I have more hope for this team. I'm one of the more optimistic Bulls content creators, right? With thinking that this team has a chance to be 500 or slightly above, a couple of games above. So I look at that. But we'll see what the future holds today, man. We'll see what it holds. I'm ultimately a lot more positive on what this team could be than what I've been in the past. And I just think it's going to take a step up from where we've been the last couple of years. I think we will take a step up, and I think we will see some progress in the right direction. It's all about moving forward for this team this season. So, yeah, and you just got to hope that that's going to get it done. And we shall see, man. We shall see what this team is going to be this season. There are a lot of ifs, what ifs for this team this season, what possibilities. You got Modest Buzelis. You have, of course, like him hoping what he's going to do in the second year. You've added Isaac Okoro. You got an Dosunmu back to this team. Those are going to be all pieces that help. And I think just picking up where you left off, this team seems like a very unselfish group. It seems like a group that really does sacrifice for each other, that loves playing with each other. All those superlatives that we hear about teams, it seems like that this team has that, and it seems legitimate. It seems real. It doesn't seem like something that's just surface level or they're just saying because it's the right thing to say. It seems like they really have some belief in each other and themselves, and so hopefully that can help propel this team. This team has to stay connected, and we'll see if we get results from that this upcoming season. But with that, I do want to talk about it. I touched on it a little bit. Josh Giddey having the opportunity to really run the show this preseason, and how that, and as well as Buzelis stepping up playmaking wise, could actually open up this offense a little bit more. We're going to talk about that, but first we got to get into a message from FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props, and even followed the live lines during games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and to get started. And we'll have more Locked On Bulls coming up right after this. All right, Bulls fans. So what I want to talk to you guys about now is Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's going to have an opportunity to really run the offense, run the show in a lot of ways for the Bulls starting offense, right? When you look at it, even if it's Io's a little bit of a better creator in transition, right? So that opens up that. But Josh Giddey is the only on-ball creator for the Chicago Bulls. If Kevin Huerter is the starter, that's it. Modest can grow in those places, and I hope that Modest does grow as a playmaker this year, because I think having playmaking from your forward position opens the floor up, right? And so, especially if you look at eventually if they ever run lineups with like Kobe and Huerter, and then you have Modest Buzelis as the power forward, if you can have Modest doing some playmaking things, that's going to be great there, right? And Modest, I think, is going to have some of those opportunities here in preseason as well. But you're going to get to see Josh Giddey really, really be the main primary ball handler and creator, at least in this first preseason game, since Kobe White is not playing. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to see how both Huerter and Okoro play off of Josh Giddey, which is important this season, right? We've already seen some of it with Kevin Huerter last season, which is really good. It also opens up kind of more scoring opportunities naturally for Modest to step up if he does, right? Because now you're missing Kobe White, so you're missing a nice chunk of shots coming from you. To end last season, for those that don't know, to end last season, almost 70% of the Bulls' total offense, when you count in points generated off assists, came from Kobe or Josh Giddey. Almost 70% of the Bulls' offense came from just those two players, right? So you're looking at now replacing over 30% of your offense with Kobe being out. And so that's going to open up a lot of opportunities. And because we're in a spot where we're trying to solidify that rotation, we're trying to figure out who's going to play what, when, where, and how, right? That opens, because we know Kobe's going to have his role. Kobe's the number one scorer. He's going to have his role. There's no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Kobe's going to have his opportunities. He's going to have his scoring touches. But now through preseason, it allows you an evaluation. And I think we got 3 point guards that are really good at that's going to help players evaluate. You got Josh Giddey, who's going to help you evaluate your starters, your bench players, if you stagger them there. You got Trey Jones that's there to do the same thing. And then for the last leg of this game, when we see heavy G League players and stuff like that, you got Yuki. And we'll talk about Yuki time here at the end of the show. But who steps up as that playmaker? Both. And then when Josh Giddey sits, because he's only going to play 15 to 20 minutes, when Josh Giddey does sit, who's going to step into that playmaking role? Clearly, your hope is going to be Trey Jones, but then again, you're going to need somebody else to step up scoring wise then, which means is it going to be Io? Is he going to step up as a scorer for you? Is one of Dalen, Julian, Patrick Williams going to step up for you, right? Jalen Smith. So while I don't like that Kobe's out, I do think it's just a safeguard measure. I don't think he's going to miss any considerable time. Hell, I think if the regular season started today, Kobe White would be out there. But use this opportunity to take advantage of it and use it to evaluate how that bench rotation is going to be for you. And that's what this is. And that's why I'm saying practice patience. If this team doesn't look like the well-oiled machine that we finished off last season looking like, don't react to that. Don't make it think it's going to be doom and gloom for the season. Some of that is by design as you're trying to evaluate some of these players for what they're going to be for you over the season and you're trying to figure out your rotation, and you have to allow for that, right? So Billy Donovan got to play for that as well. So we'll see what the future holds. I'm excited to see what this team could be this season, and Josh Giddey is an important part of that. He signed his $25 million a year deal, $100 million over 4 years. He got close to his money, right in the half between what and the Bulls are going to do. And, not to say that we need to see in a preseason game Josh Giddey drop 20 and 10 and 5, right? You don't need to see that necessarily. But I would love to see a Josh Giddey that takes control over that offense and that the flow of the offense looks really good while he's out there, which gives the Bulls some opportunities and some flexibility there. So, we'll see what it holds and what happens there for Josh Giddey. Billy Donovan is going to love having all the point guard play that we're going to have on this team this year. Bro, I'm not even going to lie to you. I've been doing the show solo for a week. I didn't even think to tell you I was starting. It didn't even register in my brain, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you, bro. It didn't even factor in. I did not think about Pat the Designer once this morning when I was setting up this show.
Well, let's leave for a week. It's just over. It's just
My bad, bro. My bad, man. I woke up
have a relationship. We used to be friends.
Hey, so I was talking about how with Kobe White out, Josh Giddey's going to have an opportunity to really fully run the show from the offense and the starting perspective. How do you feel about that coming into this preseason game as far as Josh Giddey having that opportunity to really run it?
Yeah, listen, I mean, he had some opportunities with the last season. There were games where Kobe and Josh weren't together. I don't think it's going to be any issue between the two of them. I think the biggest thing for, Josh tonight is just getting in the groove of things. And, seeing where he's at and seeing if he can have that Lonzo Ball impact this season where it's just, hey, I'm just putting y'all in the right position. Y'all go out there and y'all make shots and I'll find a way to get you the ball. I think that's going to be big for the Bulls this year. I think the biggest thing coming into tonight that I'm excited about for this Bulls team is to see, you're essentially fielding the same team with the same general. In Josh Giddey, how is that going to improve everyone else? You know what I mean? How does that, you should have, not to say there shouldn't be bumps and bruises, because Cleveland's doing the same thing, but there should be some level that you see of improvement around, hey, look how these guys are moving. Look where they're at. Look at the spots that they're in. And preseason basketball is probably the realest preseason that you get in all of sports.
Major sports.
Because it's hard to not play. Of course, it's
you play basketball is basketball, right? It's the minutes,
right?
More so.
You know what I
Not
mean?
gonna see the minutes, yeah.
You gotta play. I'm not saying you can all-star game it, but you're not gonna get no minutes. But you gotta play a little bit, and so I feel like this is an opportunity to see. Okay, is Modest truly set to take a step? Is a guy how's a guy like Noah Essengate going to look on an NBA court? Because say what you want, these are still NBA players on the back end of these benches. So I'm very excited for tonight's game. I think it's going to be extremely fun to see what this Bulls team looks like this year.
Yeah, and to be honest too, you got a lot of you got 5 players competing over the 10th spot in the rotation. Those guys better bring it this offseason. You can't. I don't have time to phone it home on that when you're legitimately fighting for you to even have a spot in the rotation this year. For players that were Jalen was in the he was the backup center until Zach Collins came. Pat has been in the rotation. Dalen, Julian, those guys averaged over 15 minutes per game last year. And now you have those guys that were all getting double-digit minutes when they played. They're fighting over an inconsistent 10th man spot where they're going to be lucky to get 10, 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
and hopefully it's because you're talented.
That's fact.
And not just because you got a guy you got to play 10.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's because you can actually go 10 deep. So we'll see what the outcome of that is. I ask you this, dog, excitement wise for a player outside of Giddey, of course, because that's what the segment was around. Who are you most excited to see this season?
Oh, Modest, of course, but outside of those, because I think those are the easy ones. I'd say Io. Io started to come around towards the end of last year, and as we've always seen with Io, once you allow Io to settle into a role, you see the best of him. This season, Io is the 6th man. I just don't see a world in which he's not getting at least 25, 26 minutes off the bench. Yeah. I really want to see if he thrives in that role, because there's going to be times where we need him for defense. There's going to be times where we need him from offense. There's going to be times where we need him to push the break and him be the one that rebounds and start the break because he's a solid transition passer. And, that 6-man role, that's the 6th starter in a lot of ways. And so I want to see how he thrives in that role this season.
Dog, I ain't going to lie to you. For me, it's Trey Jones.
Yeah, it could be.
If there's a reason to keep Trey Jones, please show it to me. Because I think the advanced analytics we can get lost in sometimes, and advanced analytics are good, especially for people who
you want to pair them
do
with
basketball
podcasts
podcasts and have not played basketball, right? Like
as Cristiano Felicio that first year was an advanced analytics darling, and we saw
you know what I mean? Like there's limits to advanced analytics here where you go, oh, look at this, and he's gonna be the next coming. And you're like, nah, I don't know about that. But like just the Jones brothers in general, the turnover to assist ratio, the basketball IQ, like the height may limit both of them a little bit, Tyus and Trey, but they truly are like elite level point guards when you look at the analytics.
And what if I was talking about that before you joined. We've always said Billy Donovan's system looks best when he has a point guard. He has two of those guys that operate his system very well. You got two of them. Three, technically, if we're talking about Yuki, who? It's a good segue. We're about to get into Yuki time here in a minute, but first we do got to get into a message from Monarch. I got it, Pat, since you're like,
I was going to say, I got nothing.
I got it. We're going to get to a message from Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your phone or laptop. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. My favorite feature on Monarch Money is the fact that you can track shared and personal accounts together and set goals between the two accounts. So if you share an account with a loved one that has a bit of a spending bug, you can still manage your money and monitor everything there. Don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNBA. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. Oh, I thought, you're in here clicking too. See, look, I said I got it. I said I had it. I wasn't expecting it from you today. You good. All right, Pat. So we talked about the point guard thing. I want to finish off on that topic before we get into Yuki. But I was talking about that almost literally right before you came on, is that having two of those point guards that can operate that offense, I think is going to be really good for the balance and keeping it up. For for a while, the Bulls offense would dip if we had the starters out. And it wasn't just because of like point guard play, it was because our best scorers too. But I think now, like, you have a guy like Trey Jones and you have Io and Kevin Huerter, who's probably going to be coming off the bench as well. Like, you have these guys that I think you're going to be able to run some really good system stuff, even with your bench unit.
No, 100%. Like, I think, listen, we've talked about this a ton, right? You've got a team that is begging for a star. Like, everyone just fits. Trey Jones with Io Dosunmu sounds like a match made in heaven for me coming off of the bench right now. You add Kevin Huerter into that mix if he is your guy coming off of the bench, and or Isaac Okoro, depending on the three-point shooting you get. Hey, with better point guard play that actually passes you the ball in good positions, he might be better in that situation. Donovan Mitchell is a shoot first type of point guard. Darius Garland doesn't even get to play point guard really anymore. So like you kind of look at, the situation he was coming from and now coming into this situation. Could Okoro take a step forward in the shooting department? And the Bulls have been really good at getting the most out of shooters over the last couple of seasons. When you talk about the depth inside, like, is it Zach Collins or is it Jalen Smith? Either way, I love the fit with the point guard play that you have on that team. In the starting lineup, you got Vooch. By the grace of God, maybe P. Will has a pulse. You know what I mean? Like, the team just fits really well together. And I don't know how many times you say it, right? It's built very similar to what Denver is, or what Denver was, I should say. Yeah. There's a lot of really good pieces in place. Are they championship pieces? No. Are they 43 to 45 win team pieces? Sure. And you're going to be a competitive team. This should be a playoff team this season. That should be, moving in the right direction. That shouldn't have, some of the same issues that we saw from this team last season. And you're going to be extremely competitive, hoping that Modis or Kobe or Giddey, maybe it is Giddey, right? Like, we keep kind of just saying he's the guy setting things up. Maybe Giddey says, hey, I'm going to give y'all these points, but I'm also
listen,
I'm going to give y'all these points, but I'm also dropping 30.
improved as a 3-point shooter every year of his career, every single year.
Last year was nuts, that was insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, he shot 50% from 3 for like a month. That's going to be difficult to maintain. But I think even when you look at his ability to take players off the drive and dribble, like you see him do that in the floater. So he could be with that. But I want before we get out the show today, I do want to make sure we get this topic in. So I'm just labeling. So Billy Donovan already said the main players are only playing 15 to 20 minutes. They're going to go very deep into the bench. He was even asked specifically by KC Johnson, is it going to be Yuki time? He said yes. So I'm going to label this Yuki time. Yuki time is where we see, of course, Yuki Karamora, Lachlan Albrick, even though Noah Esnay, basically the guys that are on two ways or, that we don't expect necessarily be heavily in the rotation. You can throw Dalen, Julian in there. How do you feel about the Yuki time minutes this week? Because Yuki Karamora is an exciting player alone by himself, right? You talk about another point guard who can run a system, who's a very good passer, but even at his size, he's a decent rebounder and things like that. How you feeling about, because we're going to see a lot of Yuki time over these 4 or 5 preseason games. How you feeling?
Listen, Yuki, to me, can set himself up right now to be the guy who gets the call if Trey Jones does go down this season. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's very many players whose spot he can take on this team. Unfortunately, because of, they list Yuki at 5'9".
There's no way Yuki's 5'9".
How tall is Yuki really?
Yeah.
Now, he might be. I don't know. I haven't seen him. It's so tough because like Yuki is a regular human being's height. And you always see him next to like Io and I think Io is a great one. In our minds, when you see Io on a basketball court, he's a normal person's height.
And he's not.
Io is so tall. I saw Io at Bulls training camp, and I knew how tall he was, and I was like, that's shocking, actually. Like, he is all of 6'5". Like, Io is the tall cousin that ducks when he walks in the room at the crib, and you just go, boy, what you play?
See, this is more. This is more. In 2003, and when he did his draft measurements, he was listed at 5'7.5".
2023.
Yeah, 2003.
2003. I was like, how old is Yuki?
He was 2 years old in 2003.
Hey, they say Asian don't raise him, baby.
So, and that was with shoes. So, yeah,
Yeah, I 5'9" feel like a stretch to me. Maybe he grew. I mean, he's 24. Men grow till they're about 25 in theory. So maybe he got one more in there, but I don't see a lot of opportunity for him to get a spot on this team if anyone else goes down. But the assist numbers, the assist to turnover ratio, and just setting guys up, it's literally what we just talked about Trey Jones for. Now, Trey Jones could be a little bit better of Trey Jones was 6'1", 6?
Yeah, 6'1",
6'1", something like that. Much better point of attack defender. Like, if I'm throwing Yuki out there, like, you're getting no defense from the point guard position, and they're going to attack you.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So it has to be, I'm so efficient on the offensive end, I get that opportunity. He's gonna be able to show that this season if he's the guy that the Bulls want to do that with.
Yeah, we shall see. Yuki's going to be exciting player to watch. I can't wait to watch because that unit is just going to be running up and down the court. They're just going to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're just going to be running and gunning. So it's going to be fun to watch that part of it.
Just Lachlan Albrick just struggling to make it to each end. It's like, why are we going the other way already? I'm tired.
Hilarious, man.
You got heavy feet.
Anything else, Pat, before we get up out of here, bro?
Nah, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. I'm half back on Locked On Bulls. I'm only half back.
You guys can follow me at CEO Hayes. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV, basically anywhere you want us. You can get it. We'll see you guys bright and early. No, we'll see you guys tonight, right after the game.
Tonight after the game, yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.